Thanks so much, Michael. And now we're joined by Sondra London from Atlanta via satellite. Sondra is a freelance journalist, and she co-authored a book with Danny Rolling called The Making of a Serial Killer. There's been much litigation about that, which we're going to be talking to Sondra about. Sondra, we just saw you in a clip of you in the courtroom while Danny Rolling was singing to you. You met him while you were researching a book about the student murders. Can you tell us what he's like and what attracted you to him that you wanted to become his, or you agreed to be his fiance?
Well, June, we worked together for quite a while and very closely on the project of his life and crimes, and it was in getting to know him during that process that we became closer gradually over the months. I've worked with a number of serial killers and other convicts, and Danny Rolling's quite different than most of them that I have encountered before and since, in that he was quite interested in being honest in terms of getting to what was wrong with him or what he had done wrong, and virtually all the others that I've encountered are more interested in running a game.
Mm-hmm. Did he, I mean, he obviously he was in the courtroom with the defense fighting against the death penalty. How did he feel when it was imposed? What did he tell you about it?
He had expected the death penalty all along, and he was prepared for it. He said that he felt like a cockroach in a letter that he wrote me, but literally he was expected the death penalty, and he really even wanted the death penalty. It was like suicide by law enforcement to him. Mm-hmm.
This is, I know, a personal question, but if I may ask you why you were his fiance, and obviously once he's given the death sentence that it's not going to go anywhere, but why did you break up your relationship with him?
The fact that we got engaged, you know, it was in the intensity of the situation that we were under. Mm-hmm. We wanted to visit. He wanted to talk to me. He had stated over and over to Ed Dix and to the other investigators that he wasn't going to talk to anyone except me, and he wanted to talk to me about his crimes. Mm-hmm. But as he grew older, he became his worst nightmare, really, what he hated and feared the most. He had told someone that what he feared the most was being stabbed to death at night in his sleep, and that was exactly what he had committed.
Sondra, if I may, June, who, if you could tell us, who made the decision to plead guilty rather than fight the case at trial? Was that Rolling's decision, or was it a joint decision between his attorneys and himself?
Very interesting question. Very interesting question. Danny Rolling had gone against attorney's advice throughout this entire thing. He had bonded to me, and he contacted me by letter written on February the 10th and asked me to tell him whether he should plead guilty or fight it. My goodness, and I went to his lawyers and told them, look, you know, you need to get a grip on him. Go out there and visit him or do something. But I told him I could not advise him, told him to pray and to make sure he wasn't going to change his mind before he made a decision. And please don't ask me to make those decisions for him. Please talk to his attorneys. But he was going against attorney's advice for quite a while. I believe that was part of his appeal, based on the fact that coercion in this case was using hope in Danny Rolling's case, that the state had coerced him to trust them rather than his own attorneys, because they held out the hope that, that he would be allowed to see me. And that was how they got the confessions.
Mm-hmm. Sondra, was he aware? You said he was not surprised that he got the death penalty. Once he admitted guilt, once you admit guilt to serial killings, it's a slim chance to none that a jury is going to let you live after that.
That's right. You know, but Danny's different than, like I say, than almost any prisoner I've ever known. He hardly even follows his case, to my knowledge. You know, he'll get the paperwork and not even look at it. A lot of prisoners are very much involved in their case, and I had mentioned to one of his attorneys when he wrote me that letter about should he plead guilty, he said there were a few things to consider, and he wanted to know how it would affect our book project. And I just was appalled and said to his lawyer, my goodness, he cares more about this book than he does about his life. And this attorney said, that's how it's always been with Danny. Mm-hmm.